Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 challenge run, where you pick the hardest character weapon combos in the game, and I try to beat them. Today we're playing two favorites of the challenge run genre, King, which produces some of the most difficult challenges in the game, with the Flute. Flute is a very weak weapon, and so a lot of characters struggle if they're only using flutes. King does get some bonuses with this weapon, because we have higher starting luck, which will scale the damage of the weapon, but it's also a very slow attacking, low damage weapon that's bad at protecting your health, and weak in the early game. So it's all the things that make a run difficult with the King. So I think this is actually going to be a pretty significant challenge, because this weapon is just very poor for what this character is trying to do. We did get 2 extra materials here because we killed that tree. Enemies drop 1 material, trees drop 3, so we have 48 instead of 46, which is a pretty nice start. That will maybe let us buy 2 flutes, because I believe they cost 23 on the first wave. So if I buy in the first shop, so if I buy one and then re-roll into another one, we would not be able to buy it if we didn't have those 2 extra materials. But with the 2 extra materials, we can. And in fact, it worked out perfectly that way, so I look like a genius. We can't re-roll to try to lock another flute, but I'm very happy to get 3 weapons here. That increases our luck by 10 as well, because of the musical weapon tag, and also will give us extra clear speed. So getting that early tree was a really big deal. We're also pretty happy to see that broken mouth. HP is going to be the main concern for this character, because with the King, every level 1 item that we buy reduces our... or every unique level 1 item that we buy reduces our HP, so we need to boost our health. Although we only get 3 max HP from the Broken Mouth. Oh, nice. Getting a charmed unit there did get us some extra clear speed, so we made more money. And also this 8 early harvesting is a great start, so feeling very fortunate in terms of our rolls so far. Definitely taking another flute, and then we're going to roll, and we'll lock another one, and that's pretty good. Duct tape, we can't afford to spend 4 max HP on 1 armor, so normally I like this item a lot, but for this character, we don't want it. The King gets minus 15% damage and attack speed for every tier 1 weapon that we have, so we have 3 tier 1 weapons. I could combine 2 tier 2 weapons, so I could combine 2 of these, and I would get more damage and attack speed. However, we would still lose overall attacks, number of attacks, because we'd have fewer weapons. And lowering the damage per shot of our flutes, I think, is actually good in some ways on this character, because it gives us a greater chance of charming units. And we care much more about charming things for clear speed than we do about the actual damage from the flutes, because that's what's going to help us get a lot of enemy kills instead of just a few that we might get from our weapons. Every enemy that we charm is worth like 5 or 6 materials in terms of killing more enemies. So lowering my damage gave us more chances to charm things there. You can take the Dangerous Bunny. This is a great find. It's a level 2 item, so it doesn't decrease our HP, and of course gives us a lot of extra value. Here, I could take 5 harvesting. I could also take 3 regen. We, of course, are going to want to get some defensive stats on this character. I think we're way over par for the amount of money that you would expect on Wave 3 with this combo, by the way, because we got that early extra harvesting, and we managed to find 4 flutes, which is on the high end. So we're rolling well in terms of the shops and how they've broken down. I think I'm just going to take the 3 regen. I'm very tempted by the harvesting, but having some healing is going to be very important. And it's a level 2 upgrade, so a good general heuristic is just to buy the highest level upgrade. Definitely taking a Cyclops Worm, another way to increase our damage output without costing us HP, and then we'll take another flute. I'm going to roll here, roll. I'm actually going to roll again for 5. Oh, nice. A level 2 flute is amazing. Do I want this plant? It'll cost me 2 HP, but gives us 3 regen. I think we do want it. Having regeneration is going to be really important. And then here I'm going to combine... So I definitely want at least 2 of these combined. Do I want to combine another 2 flutes? It will cost us the musical weapon tag, so I think I'm going to stick with 3 level 1s for now. This is a lower damage setup than if I had combined 2 more of the flutes. But again, lowering our damage on purpose is actually totally okay for this character, I think. I would love a lumberjack shirt. There we go. We finally got 1 enemy charmed. Gonna try to charm the lamprey. That would be a big deal for us as well. And I'm also trying to kill that, focusing a lot of attacks on the lamprey here. Unfortunately, it just didn't get charmed until the end of the wave, so I gave up a lot of enemy kills just by focusing damage on the lamprey. So maybe I should have tried to avoid shooting it and just dodged it. I'll take the coffee here. Attack speed, super important. Yes, it costs me max HP, but it's incredible for this character. And then I'm going to reroll. I think I would rather just get my 8 harvesting and get my harvesting online. Take a flute here. Keep the plant locked. Cauldron, yeah, Cauldron's worth locking as well for this character, I think. It does cost 2 regen, but the pickup range is pretty good. We're going to be leaving a lot of materials on the ground. And then I'm going to reroll. We are guaranteed to see 1 weapon in the shop, so I could reroll again for 4, but we are only rerolling 1 shop slot, so that does seem kind of expensive to do that. Gonna try to kill or charm the buffing alien if possible. We're really not getting any luck on charming enemies here, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. We got 1 charmed mantis shrimp, and that's going to allow us to clear a big chunk of the wave. There's no chance that I can kill this loot alien, I don't think. Yeah, we're getting very unlucky on charming enemies this wave, so we're making very, very little money here. I could take 12% damage. That'll help us reduce enemies to the threshold at which they can be charmed faster, and just going to take the level 3 upgrade. Here, we're very happy to buy a flute, and then I think I'm going to take Cyclops Worm. That will get my damage almost to normalize itself, and then I'm going to roll here. Pocket Factory is kind of interesting for this character because it's a way to deal random damage around the map, which we very much want. And it's a level 2 item, but it's 120 materials, so I think on run this difficult, we're going to pass on the Pocket Factory. So now I've increased my damage enough that we can't charm most of these weaker enemies, but when the stronger stuff starts to spawn later in the wave, we should hopefully be able to get some of it. I also need to be a little bit careful of the pufferfish, of course, because this is a ranged weapon, so it's gonna trigger the pufferfish projectiles. All right, there we go. Finally got a single charmed enemy and a second one. We're getting very unlucky on charming things, and that's really hurting us this run so far. We've had very good shops, but very poor luck during the waves. I'm trying to pick up some of these materials, but just had to leave them all on the ground. I don't think... So, Flute gets 50% damage scaling from ranged damage. I don't think I really need to get half a damage on each of my weapons, and I can't afford to lose 2 more max HP. I will take 9 movement speed. That's going to be very good. And then here, very happy to do this, because now we no longer have the attack speed and damage penalties. That's going to make it much easier. Silver Bullet is a very interesting option for this character. We probably still will not be able to kill elites, but if I get a level 4 flute and get a lot of extra damage, then maybe we can. So I think I will lock the Silver Bullet. I'm going to buy the Cauldron and then do a reroll here. I'm going to reroll 1 more time. I would really love to get leveled up flutes, so I'm spending 6 there. And I should make a lot of money this wave just because we left so many materials on the ground last wave, so we'll have a bunch of banked materials. Also, enemies this wave are a little tougher, so we should have more opportunities to charm them. Although the healers are a little rough for this character. They're going to undo the damage that my charmed allies do and make it hard for me to get things like the walrus on our side. I killed that one healer, waited till the other one was on the other side of the map, and then focused damage on the walrus. That's what I should have done to the lamprey earlier as well, is just try to avoid attacking it on wave 4. But this wave went very well, so that was a very clean wave. Yeah, we'll take the little frog. Pickup range and harvesting are both very good. I'm going to recycle the boiling water here. Then I'm going to take 6 max HP. I would love to roll for other stats, but this is our level 8 level up. We're not actually, even though it's all level 2s, we're not actually guaranteed to see a level 2 here. And 6 HP is really good when our character has HP this low. Then I guess I'll just take 12% damage here. Take the plant, lowering my HP but gaining some regeneration. I'm going to buy the silver bullet. I'm going to buy the acid. I don't care about the knockback, and we just need HP. We're playing the king, so you need as much HP as you can get. The bait should be pretty good for us. We can charm the lampreys, and then they'll help us clear the rest of the wave. So bait, much less dangerous when you're playing with flute. Getting another level 2 flute is great. That means any level 3 we get will push us all the way up to level 4. And then we can start triggering the bonus damage from the king. I do think we are running very over par in terms of our luck this run. You know, I complained a little bit about not getting charms and stuff, but in terms of our luck in the shops, we are running very over par, so I would expect most runs with this character weapon combination not to look this strong at this point. Not that we're really strong or anything, we could still definitely lose this run, but I would expect most runs with this combo to look a lot more difficult than it's looked so far. And definitely taking power generator, we need all the percent damage we can get. Here we're guaranteed to see a level 3 upgrade. I could start building dodge, but I'm just going to reroll, and I could take 9 max HP, I could take 9 speed, we have power generator, so that's also 9% damage. I think I'm just going to take the max health, though. Getting to 42 is going to help a lot. Alright, we're very happy to see a gentle alien here. This is HP neutral, because we gain 2 but lose 2 from the king passive. I'll buy the bait, and I will definitely buy a second silver bullet. That will let us potentially kill elites even relatively early. Take the flute here, and salt water, also probably worth grabbing. So I need to remember that we've got lampreys this wave. And I'm trying to charm them, also trying not to take infinite damage for no reason, but not doing a great job with that attempt. Would love to charm the hatcher. If you charm the hatchers, then you get charmed eggs, and then those turn into charmed slashers. So you get a ton of clear speed from charming units that summon other units. Not to mention that it's just a big, tough body on the field that walks into a lot of enemies and does damage to them. So we should make okay money this wave, even though I kind of messed up my fight against the bait aliens. And I hope to charm that, yeah, if we charm that slasher, that should help clear out a lot of the smaller enemies during this wave. And we made pretty good income overall. Gonna take 9 max HP. I would love 10 attack speed, that would be amazing, but max HP is so important on this character. And again, we've got all this luck, we're just gonna take advantage of it and take the high level upgrades when they show up. Take the flute, silver bullet, and salt water, and then roll. Plant is great now because we no longer lose HP for buying it, but I am going to take the dangerous bunny first, because then we get a free reroll, lock the plant, and obviously the regeneration potion is amazing. This is going to give us a ton of survivability, both because it gives us massive amounts of regen, and also because as the king, every tier 4 item we find gives us 5 HP, so max HP will be much less of an issue. I'm also going to lock the ugly tooth. Yes, it costs me 2 health and 3 damage, but now what I'm really worried about is surviving against the elites that are coming up. So ugly tooth is going to make it much easier to do that. And then that combined with the fact that we have double silver bullet might let us actually kill them. We can stay away from them with the slow on them, and then the double silver bullet should give us the damage to take them out. Yeah, I would love to charm something here. There we go. Our damage output per shot is actually just a little bit too high to reliably charm enemies, which is costing us a fair amount of wave clear here. Okay, got a few helmet aliens that are clearing some of the enemies, but yeah, we're kind of struggling to clear this wave. Just low charm chances. Getting a couple anglerfish to charge into the big groups of enemies helped, though. I'm actually going to recycle the stone skin. We have enough max HP, I think. 45 materials is a lot, and I do not want to lose attack speed. Attack speed is so important for this character, and we got 15 attack speed there, which is great. We'll take the regen potion, plant, and ugly tooth, and then roll. I actually can probably get my weapons to attack faster than the ball and chain maximum, especially if I roll into another flute. And I'm hoping to do that so that I can combine to a level 4 flute. Okay, perfect. This is exactly the item that we needed, because now it's a level 2 flute even, so we don't have to pick up a level 1. Combining to a level 4, not only does it do tons of extra damage, it gives us bonus attack speed and percent damage because of the king's passive. I'm going to re-roll here. I'll still take the level 1 flute because we want to get more level 2 flutes. And a baby elephant is also going to be really good. Coil, I think, is worth buying for this character. Yes, I have decreased my knockback by buying the acid here, but the coil is going to be a lot of percent damage, and the knockback is actually pretty good with flutes. Alright, so let's see if we can kill this thing. I'm going to try to charm a few other enemies, and I actually don't know if Silver Bullet applies to charmed units, like if they get the bonus damage benefits from the Silver Bullet. It looks like my damage output per shot is actually maybe too high, and so it's going to be harder to kill the elite, because I'm not charming anything else. I was hoping to charm a bunch of other enemy units, and then those would both damage the elite and also clear everything else on the field, so that I could focus damage on the elite. Since that isn't happening, unfortunately, I think we're not going to be able to safely kill the elite here. Got kind of trapped in the corner. I'm going to take a hit on the way out. Actually, didn't take a hit on the way out, somehow. Enemies really messed that one up. Would have been very easy for them to move where I had to take damage to get out of that situation. Alright, so I got the elite pretty low. I think maybe we could have killed it, but it would have been pretty unsafe. So, next wave we'll focus on killing it. Gonna take the mirror there. Lifesteal I could get to positive, or I could start buying dodge. Dodge is a reasonable defensive option for this character, and we have high luck, so we're fairly likely to get high level dodge levels. But I think I'm just going to re-roll. I don't think it's worth it to buy dodge, and I'd rather roll for, yeah, luck or HP regen. Let's take 4 regen. So now I can double coil, or I could double baby elephant. But let's double coil, because they will multiply the effectiveness of each other. By flute, penguin, and baby elephant. This cost me 4 HP. That's fine. These are both really good items for us. We'll take the gentle alien. Spicy sauce I could buy to gain a little more maximum health, but again, I don't think we really need it. Definitely, I would love the banner. Range and attack speed are both, like, range is actually relevant to flutes, and attack speed is really good. But I can't just lose 10% damage to my double coil like that, I think. So I think we're going to pass on that. We will lock the ritual. If I get positive lifesteal, then the lifesteal will be pretty good. Gummy Berserker, we don't want to reduce our armor. Okay, well, with a 3rd Silver Bullet, we should definitely be able to kill elites. At least I would hope so. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier in the run, but I am trying out a new audio setup. I'm sure you've been hearing it. I'm sure it still needs fine-tuning, so I would appreciate any feedback on the audio in this video. Let me know what needs fixing. I was having this funny thing with my old audio setup where I felt like the sound was just getting worse over time, even though I had changed nothing. And so I decided I needed to fix whatever issues that were arising with that. So hopefully this has cleaner, like, consonant sounds, especially. Taking a few hits here and there, of course, but we're at least making okay income. Fertilizer, yeah, I'll spend 2 HP on more harvesting, sure. And then here, I could take 9 speed, which would also be 9 damage. I could also roll. This is level 15, so I would take luck or attack speed or armor over the move speed and damage, probably. So I think I am just going to roll here and roll again. And then, okay, put to the test, do I want attack speed or armor? Let's actually take attack speed. Gonna buy the Silver Bullet, Gentle Alien, and we'll leave the ritual locked, I suppose. Small fish, I don't really need. I Could buy the goldfish, but goldfish is so trolly. On the other hand, any level 4 item is so good for the king that I think it's worth buying goldfish on this character. Kraken's Eye is amazing, max HP. Curse is kind of nice for us now, and it will boost our max HP by 15. Compass, yeah, I'm going to buy the compass because we have power generator, so it boosts my move speed and also my damage. Trying to get these lampreys charmed if I can. There we go. Once I start getting a critical mass of army on my side, we should be in really good shape, because then the enemies will clear the wave for me. Still would love a lumberjack shirt. That would have been a really nice find quite a bit earlier, but would still be pretty good because we're spending a lot of attacks killing trees. Alright, I would love to kill this loot alien, so I'm just going to run after it. We do have the damage to clear enemies like that now, which is really nice with a flute build. That's fairly unusual. Didn't get that hatcher charmed. Can we get the goblin shark? Yeah, there we go. Turning a lot of enemies on one another, which is great. Jelly is just minus 1 HP for the king, so I'm just going to recycle it. Can't be the king of Brotato without one of these, so very happy to see a crown. It's also just very good for us. And then here I will just take 9 max HP. That plus the Kraken's Eye means that we will have way more max HP than we need for the rest of the game. Buy the ritual here, and then roll. Gonna roll again. Level 3 flute is perfect. We can get another level 4. I would love to get a level 1 as well and get rid of the level 1 that we have currently that's giving us a bunch of attack speed and damage penalties. That's what I was really hoping for from the goldfish, was just like a high level flute, but we did manage to roll into one. I just can't get over how ridiculous the noise the flute makes. It's still constantly just going mee, 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 mee in the background. So the cursed enemies, of course, do more damage to each other. They're very nice to charm, but they're harder to charm because they have more health. And they take more damage from their friends. So you can get in trouble if you get too many cursed enemies on this weapon. I'll definitely take a cyber ball. We have got to do more damage here. I'm going to take the 9 speed, I think, over the 2 armor, because my damage is starting to actually suffer. We'll buy another level 4 flute. Perfect. We'll take a compass. I'm going to pass on the alloy. I'll roll here. Penguin, I've already got one. This doesn't cost me max HP. And, of course, more regen is really nice. Let's roll here. Okay, great. Grind's Magical Leaf. Also another ritual for more % damage. These are both really good finds. Grind's Magical Leaf should give us enough defensive stats to easily survive whatever the enemies throw at us. Got a couple enemies charmed right away there, which is really nice. Those will help clear the rest of the wave while I focus damage on the elite. And with triple silver bullet, we should be in pretty good shape to try to kill this elite quickly. Or, you know, quickly for the weapon that we're using. As in fewer than 60 seconds. Alright, there we go. Now that the elite isn't absorbing a lot of damage from our weapons, we should be able to much more easily hit and charm more enemies on the field. We also managed to double charm those blobfish, so that's going to spawn a bunch of charmed lampreys for us, which is great. The other really nice thing about charming the blobfish is that curse aliens can't be charmed, so they spawn on the side of the enemies, but you get 4 charmed lampreys just on top of them as soon as they spawn, which just pops them immediately, so you get the curse alien kills kind of for free. Metal detector increases our luck, which we haven't actually managed to get that much bonus luck on this character, which, of course, our weapon scales with luck, so that's part of why our damage is a little low. Greek fire I'll take. Now I'm looking for any way to set things on fire, because that'll help us kill the bosses even faster. Then we'll take 9 movement speed, because, of course, that's also 9 damage. Pick up a ritual, lock the metal detector, and I'm going to roll. I'm not going to worry. I could unlock the item here in order to get one more slot rolled with the goldfish upgrade. I guess because we're the king and goldfish is actually pretty good for us, I'm going to do that. Take the flute. Goblet doesn't and hunting trophy don't really work with the flute because the enemies that are on your side that time out don't trigger these effects. So we're going to pass on both of those. We'll lock another flute here. Toxic Sludge, that's -2 HP as well. Whistle, also -2 health, but probably still worth taking even this late. Whistle is another item that just gets better later because there's a higher chance to spawn loot aliens anyways. So, it's more impactful. Obviously, it's better to get it earlier, but it's more impactful in later waves, so it doesn't really matter if you buy it late. Compared to some other economy items where they're no good if you don't get them early. The fact that we have no piercing shots is definitely holding us back. If we had a sharp bullet, then this run would be extremely easy at this point, I think, because we'd just be charming twice as many enemies, and that would be clearing the waves super, super fast. As is, it's making it a little harder for us to actually clear these waves efficiently. So, without any piercing shots, Flute always struggles. I'll take a mirror here, and we'll recycle the landmines. I'm gonna reroll because we can do better. Do I want to start building dodge at this point? I guess we're guaranteed another level 3 level up, so I could take 12 dodge and then 9 dodge, and that would be pretty efficient. So we'll try to make that work. Let's go ahead and start upgrading our weapons here. But I guess I can't buy the level 4 flute yet. We'll roll. Neither of those items are super worth duplicating, so let's roll again. I could duplicate Broken Mouths, but we don't really need the HP, so I'm just going to roll past both of those. I could duplicate Little Frogs. We're really not getting anything that we can duplicate efficiently. Baby Squid is probably worth duplicating, again, even this late, because we'll get a few more levels, and regen is one of the things that we're actually in need of. Just one of the only relevant things to our character right now is defensive stats. So even if each baby squid is only worth 3 regeneration, still probably worth spending the mirror buff on. So many projectiles that we have to dodge. Okay, I managed to charm a few of those lampreys that spawned out of that blobfish. But yeah, there's a lot of cursed enemies on the field now, and that is slowing our clear speed a lot. I haven't... the main issue for us is just that I haven't managed to increase my luck at all. So the base damage of my weapons is really low. Weird Ghost we're going to recycle here, and then I could take 15 attack speed, but I think I'm going to roll. I'm looking for dodge or armor. I'll roll again. Alright, I'll take 15 luck as well. Here, let's go ahead and... So I could buy this, that would take me to a level 3. I can't buy both the level 4 and the level 2 flute. So I guess let's just combine here and we'll buy the level 4 flute. We'll lock the level 2, of course. And then I'm going to re-roll. Still haven't found a level 1 flute. And then we'll roll again. Another ritual I think is fine. More lifesteal does give us more healing, and percent damage is okay for this character as well. I will also buy the campfire. No, I guess we have power generator, so it's even worse than it normally would be. I'm gonna roll again here. Jerky is a great way to survive. So we'll try to pick that up. With triple silver bullet and a bunch of level 4 flutes, I'm really hoping that we can kill this elite quickly. Especially because we were having trouble clearing the rest of the wave. So I need to kill this fast before it becomes too overwhelming to deal with all the enemies on the field. Especially because this is a mini-boss wave and a pufferfish wave. Alright, got the mini-boss. One of the mini-bosses charmed, at least. Whoops. Walked into 2 pufferfish attacks. So trying to kill this elite, still pretty dangerous. Should get there soon here. And I need to just not die, and then I can pick up the full heal. Okay, great. So that required some slightly more precise movement than I was hoping to have to do. Because this is still a difficult run at this point. Just, again, our AoE damage is really bad. Okay, well, Ricochet kind of solves that. It's sort of like buying Pierce, but it's Ricochet instead. It's Bounce instead. So that'll help fix our AoE damage, and then we won't have that problem again, which is great. Let's go ahead and get another level 4 weapon. We'll buy a level 2. We'll take Adrenaline. With 24 dodge, that's actually a reasonable amount of dodge. The Bean Teacher this late, unfortunately, doesn't do anything, but an extra armor is really good, even obviously at the cost of 2 HP, and even at the cost of 4 HP, we'll take another armor off the duct tape, and we'll lock Poisonous Tonic as well. With Ricochet, suddenly we just don't have the same problem that we had before. Now, our shots are all bouncing to other enemies and charming them, and the game suddenly just got vastly easier, because what this build was missing was just any form of piercing shots, or AoE damage, and our baby elephants and cyber balls and Kraken's Eye were doing their best, but they're just not enough compared to having your weapons hit multiple enemies at a time. And this is a really good illustration of why Sharp Bullet is typically the item that you need to beat these Flute challenge runs. Yeah, like, if you find Sharp Bullet, it's so much easier than if you don't. So we were playing on hard mode a little because we didn't find it, but other than that, our shops went just perfectly, so I certainly can't complain too much. Take some more regen here. I'm going to reroll. I guess I'll just take 6 dodge. Getting to 30% dodge makes it a pretty relevant defensive stat for us. Roll here. Ooh, Cursed Grind's Magical Leaf. Hey, nice. We get to get rid of the damage penalty with our flutes. The Cursed Magical Leaf, unfortunately, doesn't do anything because the run's over. This Pearl would also have been really nice. Combining to a level 3 flute and buying the level 1 is actually not good for us because it gives us a damage and attack speed penalty. I would take another Ricochet, though. I could buy the Dangerous Bunny, but I guess I can reroll because there might be something worth buying in the next shop. Cute Monkey's kind of interesting. The Metal Plate would be excellent. That's what we really need, is additional armor. But I guess let's roll again. And sure, we'll take a Feather. Feather's actually a pretty relevant upgrade for us. 3% dodge does increase our survivability pretty dramatically at this point. And then let's go to the next wave. So I'm trying to charm most of the other enemies while focusing damage on the bosses, but because I have Ricochet now, I can just shoot the bosses and everything else across the field will get charmed. So the Ricochet is really putting in work here. That's the first boss kill down. And I'm going to not pick up the red crate, because if I take a bunch of hits in a row like that, then I can run over and pick up the red crate, heal back to full, and that gives us a really nice safety net. And there we go. Managed to kill the bosses, which is very unusual for a flute build, but this was actually a pretty fun run. So taking a look at our items, I do think that we ended up being significantly stronger than we normally would on this character. We got the wave 1 tree really helped snowball the economy of this character because we were able to buy 3 flutes. So you can see how even tiny differences in income in the early waves can make massive differences throughout the run, because this is a game about building incremental advantages. So even very small advantages early increase the power of your character enormously. Having 3 weapons there meant that we got more money on wave 2, and that meant that we got to buy more items, so we got more money on wave 3, and so on, which set us up immensely for the very powerful endgame of the king. Taking a look at our items, we had 370 materials saved on the Dangerous Bunny. Not bad at all, and of course that's also, it makes every reroll cheaper, which is not reflected in this stat, so it probably saved us 1,000 materials or so. The coffee was very nice, of course. Triple silver bullet let us kill all the enemies. Power generator for 22% damage, pretty good. Double gentle alien is really nice on this character. The regen potion let me play so much more aggressively. I ended up with 8 knockback on the coils, so double coil was fine. We never found any way to set enemies on fire for Greek fire. Either that or I just forgot that we had it and passed. I did forget that we had this, so I don't remember if I actually passed any burning damage, and maybe if I had seen burning, I'd have remembered the Greek fire, but it's also very possible I just passed some burning damage, having completely forgotten that item. 58 harvesting from Crown is good. Only 4.3k damage on the Kraken's Eye. This has a very small radius, so it doesn't usually do that much damage. 23k on Cyberball. Did I check the baby elephants? Just one, yeah, 22k on that. Metal detector for 100 materials, not bad. Lots of stats from Grind's Magical Leaf, and each baby squid was, as I predicted, worth 3 regeneration. And then the rest were just solid stats. And of course, the Ricochet made our endgame enormously better. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this challenge run, and of course, if you have more difficult character weapon combos that you think I should try, definitely let me know. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.